Well, so Lorraine, a lot of people more and more people seem to be cooking at home during the pandemic. Have you noticed that?
Definitely. We hear it all the time from listeners to our Two Sharp Chefs and a Microphone podcasts. They're always writing in, calling in, and on our social media telling us that they're always looking for new recipes because a lot of people, even though we have, restaurants kind of open right now and we have to go, they might sometimes feel safer or honestly just they feel like it's easier because they can find things in their pantry. So what we've been trying to do is talk about things that a lot of people just have right there in their kitchen, in their pantry, rather than trying to come up with all these exotic ingredients.
And you were telling me before we started here that you have something really simple and pretty darn quick for us to share today. What are we going to do?
Yes, we're going to do comfort cake in a cup. And it's super simple. You just need some sort of mug. I like a wide brim one so I can see my cake and I have more space to eat. A little bit of cooking spray it,
Okay.
let it sit on the side for a bit. Super fast. 1/4 cup of cake flour, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar. I use monk fruit sweetener because I'm borderline diabetic. It's interchangeable 1-to-1 with sugar,
Mhm.
but feel free to use stevia if you like, a little bit less stevia because it's a little bit sweeter taste. Use regular sugar, use a mixture of brown sugar, white sugar, all of it works. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. That is not interchangeable with baking soda.
No.
1/4 cup of milk. It works best with a nice whole milk, cow's milk, but I am trying to do a little less dairy. So I'm doing almond milk, which totally works. Oat milk works, soy milk, any of it. 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I use pure.
Yeah.
And then 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, canola oil. Olive oil works, but it tends to be a little olive oil strong. So it kind of depends on your taste there.
Okay.
And then we're just going to mix it up. Whisk.
That's pretty amazing. And these are common ingredients that folks probably have already in their pantry.
Yes. And the cocoa powder, I mean, feel free to use any unsweetened cocoa powder. So you can even use like your dark chocolate, hot chocolate powder if you like. Mix it up. I like to give it a good mix.
Mm-hmm.
There you
Most
go.
people have a whisk, I would think. Whisk is a fairly
Yes.
common instrument.
I like it because it's mine. Obviously wouldn't do that if I was serving other people. I
Right,
like to
right.
do that. I use a spatula because I never like to waste anything.
Sure.
You can certainly use a spoon and just pour it in, but a spatula gets it so that you're not wasting anything. Because
So this
why
is
waste?
batter for one cake.
Yes, yes. And feel free to lick the bowl as well and the spatula.
Woohoo!
It's actually good to do that because you can kind of feel where your taste buds are. People like different amounts of sugar. When I say 2 to 3 tablespoons, I'm more of a 2 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon person, but some people like more sugar. That's why I say up to 3 tablespoons. It's not going to ruin the cake in any kind of way. Then the special part at the end here, it's going to make it nice and moist and chocolatey in the middle. I use dark chocolate chips, about 1 tablespoon. That's totally a crapshoot. Do whatever you want. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, whatever you like.
Go nuts.
Microwave, super easy. Pop it in. I go 1 minute and 15 seconds. Now, we all have different microwave powers, like different wattage.
Right.
So you might have to play with it a little bit. So on the recipe, I say 1 minute to 130. So depending on the wattage of the microwave, and like the wideness, the thinness of your mug, whether it's glass or ceramic, it's a little bit different. So somewhere in there, I do 150. 115, it comes out. I would give it a couple of seconds to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a fun part at the end here. When you take it out,
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want to customize it. You can keep it just chocolate chip. It's beautiful. It tastes very good. You can go sprinkles. You could go red hots, mint and chips,
Oh my God.
maybe some Heath bar, pretzels. I like pretzels. I like the salty sweet kind of combination. Feel free to do like a salted caramel sauce. That would be super delicious. Or if you're feeling more than mostly sunny, Nate, go nuts and do all of it.
Yeah.
Pour it all in. Make it like a dumpster chocolate cake. It's
And
delicious.
then whipped cream.
Whipped cream, a nice scoop of ice cream would be wonderful.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different ways to customize this, personalize it, make it your own. I like this recipe because if I'm at home alone or I'm the only one that wants dessert, I can have it. A lot of people in the pandemic right now are stuck at home alone.
Yeah.
So they don't have to make a big cake and they can just have like a sweet treat, nice, comforting, warm,
Oh my.
moist.
Look at that. And so,
Yes.
if you feel like if you try that for yourself and you go, yeah, maybe not, you have the thrill and the joy of eating it all yourself and saying, I want to do this differently next time.
Yeah. And then if you have two people or if you have two people and some kids, it's 65 seconds, a minute and a half for each one. So how long is that going to take you? 5 minutes to do the whole family? So this is me. I'm a sprinkles girl.
Got it.
um, it's super moist. The center is going to be kind of molten because of the chocolate chips that you put there.
Oh
Um,
boy.
it kind of sucks into the center.
Yeah.
Another way to personalize this, instead of doing the chocolate chips, you can do a hazelnut spread. I love that.
Oh, the Nutella
Um,
thing?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Or if you want to do some sort of peanut butter, cashew butter, almond butter, but you can see like how moist it is in the center.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a lava cake. And then the sides are just really cakey. I use a cake flour because I find that, it's got a better texture. It's more fluffy. Cake flour is fine flour, but certainly use all-purpose flour because a lot of people might have that instead of cake
Yeah.
flour
Yeah.
in their cupboard. I'm crazy. I've got like 10 different flours in there. I'm a little nutty, culinary nerd. So I've got all kinds of things happening, but AP, not Associated Press, all-purpose flour, totally works. Yeah, it's delicious. It's just like
Give it a shot there, Lorraine.
super chocolatey. It's very, very warm, so be careful about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's delicious, super easy. Couple minutes and you're done.
So
I have chocolate face.
absolutely. So before we run on, because this has just been perfect, but just the idea of folks taking more control of what they're putting in their bodies, doing cooking for themselves. People are, I don't know if enlightened is the right word, but people are seeing the value in stuff that some kids just grow up thinking that food just shows up on a shelf in a store
Yes,
somewhere, not realizing that this is stuff that we make.
yes. And I highly recommend that, if you do have children, uh, do this with them. You saw how simple it was. It's so easy for them to measure things out with you. I had it mise en place already for you, but that's a fun thing to do with your children to just, hey, let me show you what a tablespoon looks like. This is what a quarter cup looks like. You need to flatten it out. That kind of stuff is great to do with them. It gives them ownership of what they're eating. I honestly would recommend that especially with vegetables, to do that with your children, because when they're growing their vegetables, cutting their vegetables, making vegetables with you in the kitchen, they're more likely to eat them. So that's the other thing. It's like you're teaching them these great healthy habits that they can take with them when they leave you.
We might even be slipping a little bit of math in them on there with this half a cup, half a teaspoon, or
Right,
whatever.
right, exactly, exactly. Teach them conversions.
Well, yeah, we don't want to go that far. Well, Lorraine, I can't thank you enough for spending a few minutes with us and showing us this simple recipe. And enabling also seems like too fancy of a word, but letting folks know that you've got this. You can go ahead and have fun in the kitchen.
It's so easy. And the reason why I liked to show you all these personalized ways of doing it is because although you don't want to go crazy with baking soda or baking powder, the things that are going to be like a leavener and it's going to affect your baking, you can have fun with the other stuff, the stuff that you add. And when you do that, you're happy. It's a joyful place to be in the kitchen because a lot of us are now forced to be in the kitchen. Why not smile? Why not put on some music, have fun, and be like, I'm going to try something new today. I'm going to try red hots in my chocolate cake. I'm going to try whatever. This is something that could be fun for the family, but it's also just a nice, relaxing time. For me, it is to
Yeah,
just kind of, things are going on outside of us. Not everything is great that's happening outside of us. This is something that you can control
yeah.
in your own home. and have a great time.
Um, Before we run, I also want to boast a little bit of, I learned a word for myself when I learned how to make mayonnaise.
Yes.
I learned the word emulsify.
You're a scientist. You're a meteorologist, aren't you, Nate? Emulsify. That's an easy one.
But it's
Um,
amazing to see what happens just by whipping up an egg yolk and a couple of eggs and some mustard and juice, citrus juice, and you drip in the oil very slowly, and the process of science makes it into something saucy.
it's science and creativity. That's cooking. Science plus creativity equals amazing cooking. And that science that you use with emulsifying also works perfectly with dressings. So now you can make all your own dressings, Nate.
I'll give it a shot. Lorraine, thank you so much.